This rapid fire session features 5-minute talks designed to show you a strategy or tactic you can use to boost sales. Topics include using social proof to drive conversions, tips to optimize the brand power of UGC, how to use passcodes to replace conversion-killing passwords, and how to send fewer emails to increase revenue. And we're going to start with Pete Buckley, the CRO of Taggstar. Welcome, Pete.
Thank you very much, Vicky. My name is Peter Buckley. I am the Chief Revenue Officer of Taggstar, and I'm going to talk to you today about social proof and a hidden way to optimize your customer journey. We are one of the global leaders in this field with over a decade of experience, but I'd like to start today by talking about what social proof isn't. And you can see on the image here, many brands and retailers use a form of badging. Now, as we land on our product list page, if everything is trending, nothing is trending, and badges certainly have a place in our e-commerce user experience, but they are static, they are often lacking context, and they are really not providing the relevancy or authenticity that social proof provides. So what social proof is? It is a way of building authenticity with your customers by highlighting and aggregating the real-time behavior of how they interact with your products, from what they look at, to what they buy, to what they show interest in, what they add to bags, save for later, add to wish list. You build that consumer behavior to build authenticity and trust, and provide this in a real-time, beautiful user experience that connects you with your customers, because ultimately we're all looking for what others just like us do and buy. And you see some examples here. I could talk about this for hours, but I want to leave you with some tips around what you can do and what works effectively for social proof. So here on product links page, you can turbocharge user-generated content such as reviews, aggregate this behavior, present it higher up the journey on the list page in order to better form decisions and help consumers find products faster. Here you can see we can improve that time to first click, helping with guided navigation by 13%, improve hover and engagement rates on products by up to 7%, highlighting what's trending, what's number one bestseller, what everyone recommends. As we go down the journey, it's about making it personalized and quantifiable, aggregating what users do in their last session, highlighting that on the PDP, as we know is now the new homepage. Bounce rates, exit rates are growing, session depth, session time is going down. Here, social proof provides people that context of what's popular, keeping them on site, improving and driving session depth and length, and driving conversion rates. Fabletics, one of our customers here, saw close to a 4% lift by implementing social proof. So what matters? Placement, frequency, design, and user experience all matter. Here, Living Spaces, one of our customers, you see two examples. Is it trending, sold 19 times in 12 hours? Is it a timeless design, sold 122 times in the last few days? Is it the color? Is it the placement? Is it the design? Is it the quantity sold? I ask all of you right now, what do you think is more effective? The image on the left, the image on the right? What would make you add to cart? What would make you buy? What would give you the confidence to purchase that product? And the answer is, well, if you come and see us, I'll tell you at kiosk 218. So swing by in the Discovery Lounge, come see myself, Peter Buckley, Chief Revenue Officer of Taggstar, and I'll tell you exactly how we can improve your conversion rates. Thank you very much.
Okay, next up we have Ernest Chi, the Senior Director, Product Acceleration for Passage. Welcome, Ernest.
Thanks, Vicky. Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today talking to you all at Commerce Next. My name is Ernest Chi, and I'm the General Manager of Passage by 1Password. And I'll start today by asking a question. How many of you here today has ever forgotten a password? Maybe a show of hands, right? Look around, lots of you, maybe all of you. And when was the last time? I bet it was pretty recent, right? Yeah. Well, passwords are a problem. And to give some background, I joined 1Password about 4 years ago, and we were a company of 200 people working to solve this problem. And fast forward today, we're over 1,200 people, close to $1 billion in venture capital raised. So I'd say this is a pretty big problem that especially folks in e-commerce don't think a lot about. And you might be asking, what are passkeys? Well, passkeys use biometrics to replace passwords and those annoying one-time text or email codes that you might get to verify. We've all struggled with those. They're more secure, and most importantly, they're an easier way for your customers to sign up and sign in. Passkeys are technology that have been developed by the likes of Apple, Google, and Amazon. And they're designed to work everywhere seamlessly. Any type of device, any type of browser, passkeys make that sign-in experience just a lot more seamless for your customers. And if you consider the typical e-commerce buying journey, just about every stage of this funnel has been really optimized. You get people to your site through effective, but sometimes expensive marketing. You get people to learn about your product through really great content. And if you're lucky enough, your customer will decide to make a purchase. But at that point they decide to make a purchase, a lot of times they're hit with a wall of friction when they're asked to sign in or create an account. And that's where passkeys can be a huge driver of growth. There's a lot of friction in the buying journey, and using passkeys to sign up using biometrics can significantly improve some of your results. Now, the average person has roughly 90 online accounts, and good passwords are really difficult to remember. The average user also spends 11 hours a year resetting passwords. That's pretty awful. And even when it goes right, it usually takes up to about 30 seconds just to input a password. And so I know from the show of hands earlier that all of you know this problem pretty well personally, but a lot of you aren't thinking about how it can affect your professional life, your professional scope of work. Passkeys, I'm here to tell you, passwords really lead to a lot of direct lost revenue. And I'll share some more stats here that might be compelling for you all. MasterCard estimates about 30% of online purchases get abandoned at checkout just because consumers can't remember their passwords. And 1 in 4 online shoppers is willing to abandon a cart of $100 or more when they're having to reset their account during checkout. 70% of people, I'm surprised it's not more, say that remembering or resetting passwords is a regular annoyance. And so the secret is passwords are silently killing your conversion rates and hurting your business. And to understand this better, I encourage those of you returning from this conference, talk to your product teams, talk to your data analytics teams. How often are customers failing to sign in because they can't access that text or email verification codes? How often is it that they're about to make a purchase, but they have to create a new account with a difficult to remember password with all the right combination of characters? Or you can look at some of the most innovative companies, especially in the e-commerce space, the Amazons, the Shopifys, the PayPals, the Googles. They've done this very same look, and they've said, hey, we want to be early adopting passkeys, giving our customers a chance to sign in without using passwords, period. So what do we do about this? Passwords are the front door to your business, and we can't treat them just as an authentication or security IT problem. We need to be optimizing customer sign up and sign in just like every part of your sales funnel. And now you can certainly try to build support for passkeys on your own. There's an open standard that's been vetted by the security community, but it's really difficult to build and even more complicated to maintain. Sometimes it's better to trust an expert, and the way that you might not build your own billing solution and might rely on a solution like Stripe, that's what Passage is here to do. We want to make it really easy for you to implement biometrics to your websites and your mobile apps to make sign in and sign up just a lot easier. Sometimes it's better to trust an expert. This is what we live and breathe. So if what I've said today inspires you in any way, Passage is here to help. We'd love to talk to you all this week. Feel free to stop by our booth and give us a shout. Thanks so much for your time.
Great job, Ernest. Thank you very much. Okay, our third presenter, Courtney Siegel, the VP of Marketing for Skeepers. Welcome, Courtney.
Hi, everyone. So I'm here to talk to you a little bit about UGC, and I think it's the perfect way to maximize your customer journey. I'm Courtney Siegel. I'm the VP of Skeepers, and we are the global leader in user-generated content, and we like to think of ourselves as the one-stop shop for UGC. And so this is a typical customer journey. You guys are all familiar with it. It used to be so linear. You would hear about a brand, you might do some research, maybe read some reviews, then you go on their site, you shop, you tell your friends about it, et cetera, et cetera. But today's customer journey is a little bit messier. It's everywhere, it's all at once, it's immersive. Think about the last time that you were shopping. You were probably in store, or if you were in store, then you were Googling the reviews to make sure that the product was good enough, that it worked, looking at competitors' products online, looking at what else was on the shelf. Then you maybe went to TikTok to see who was talking about it. All of this is happening all at the same time. And so how do you work with that? If you're a brand, how do you meet your customers everywhere all at once? And so for us, we think the answer is user-generated content. It cuts through the noise, it's fast, it's economical, it hits your customers right where they need to be, and you can show them exactly how your products work, what they feel like, what they touch. How do you get that experience? So the numbers don't lie. People are more likely to buy a product if they've seen UGC on your site. They're also using social media as search engines. TikTok is the new Google. I go to TikTok when I want to know what couch to buy, what soap to buy, if a lipstick's going to look good on my face, how to do my hair. I'm using it for everything. And so are most people. So are most consumers, especially Gen Z, which I'm not, but I'm going to pretend to be. And so people also, brands are looking at conversion rates, right? How do we make sure people are converting on site? More people are converting on site when they've touched UGC, when they're reading reviews, when they're seeing videos on your product pages, when you're seeing people using your own products. How do you use it? What does it look like in the home? And so how do you get this UGC? How do you collect it at scale? Well, influencers are the new experts. Remember the days, maybe some of you do remember these days when you used to go into a beauty counter and you used to talk to a rep and they would tell you how to do things, what products to buy, what looks good. People are not doing that so much. So how do we get experts that we trust, that we know are not just like not using the product? Like Kim Kardashian does not look like me. I do not trust that she's using the same lipstick that I'm using, or that whatever body wear she's wearing is gonna look the same on my body. So I need to find people that I relate to. And so smaller influencers are the way to do this. They have engaged networks, their followers trust them, and so they really act as an extension of your team. And big wins can come from small following. So one of my favorite examples, this is somebody that I follow. She was using The Ordinary as a serum on her skin. She has 3,500 followers. She got almost 6.5 million views because she was showing people how to use this product, what her skin looked like. It's not airbrushed. I get it, right? I get what this product is for. And so not only are micro-influencers and nano-influencers the key to doing content and how to get real UGC, they're doing it at scale, and you can do it at scale. You need hundreds of pieces of content these days. You need to use it on your product pages, in your marketing, on your social media, and your packaging, everywhere. So this is a really economical way to get content fast and really quality content that's authentic. And it converts. So 5 times higher on your ads when you use UGC, and you can get more out of it. You can get a bigger bang for your buck if you're reusing that content, because it's expensive to create content, and all of our marketing budgets are getting slashed. So how do we do this? Skeepers connects the world's brands and consumers through these authentic UGC experiences. And we help brands seamlessly create and collect, manage, and activate all of that UGC. So this is just a fraction of what we do. If you're interested in learning more, come find me at our kiosk, or you could email me. Thanks so much.
Great job, Courtney. Thanks very much. And our final presenter coming up is Daniel Brady, CEO of Orita.
Hi, everybody. I'm Daniel. I usually go by DB. I'm the CEO of Orita, and I'm a machine learning engineer. So I'm going to talk about email, which is a really weird channel. Email is weird because it has a sense of memory. How your audience reacted to emails that you sent in the past directly affects where they will land in the future. Emails can be dropped, they can be bounced, which means they're completely rejected by the servers, or they can land in spam or promotions or the primary inbox. And that directly affects the probability of a user seeing that content and thereby converting. So email from an engineering perspective is actually this weird dual optimization problem. where you need to figure out what is the best content and the best timing to optimize the audience that you're communicating with, at the same time as being in the good graces of the inbox providers, because they ultimately control whether or not your messages get through and where they get sent. And that leads to this weird quirk where less can genuinely be more in email, where you can send less volume to a more engaged audience, and you can actually have more revenue. And so what really matters is that you optimize inside the good graces of providers like Gmail and Yahoo, because they get to ultimately determine where this sort of content goes. This is really, really relevant right now because if you guys don't know, the two largest inbox providers on the planet, which account for 2/3 of the inboxes, have dramatically tightened their rules for bulk senders. It's much, much stricter now in order to have your messages actually end up in primary inboxes. And there's a lot of things that the inboxes don't care about, but some of the few things that they do is a bunch of negative interactions. If people unsubscribe from emails, if 3 out of 1,000 in a campaign mark it as spam, your brand's in spam. And now no matter how high of an intent any of your subscriber list is, they just simply won't see it. On the flip side, things like people clicking on your emails, people being engaged with their content, teaches the machine learning algorithms in Gmail and Yahoo that like this content is really engaging. And so the solution here is to basically think of your list size as something that can be dynamically optimized at any given time. It should be regularly evaluated about like, are the people on your list actually engaging with your content? And when you take a kind of data-driven view about this, whether for most brands they start with something like, oh, someone hasn't clicked in 90 days, let's stop emailing them. But it actually can be a different fingerprint based on your customer base, based on where you are as a company, and based on how people interact with your brand. So if you take a data-driven approach, you might find for your CPG brand that it is 87 days since the last click. But if you sell jewelry, it could be 360. You sell mattresses, it could be 580. And when you choose not to email your list, so you tighten that, get this engaged reaction, it also gives you the power to always be able to email that person later at a later time because they haven't unsubscribed, because they haven't marked you as spam, so you can still communicate with them. And that might mean that the timing for when you send those things can lead to a higher conversion. If you don't know when to do that, if you don't have any prior toward it, the best time to do it is when most people engage with your brand. So it might be better to actually not send that email today and to reach out to that person maybe the day before Black Friday or the anniversary of when they made that sort of purchase. If you kind of go down that data-driven path, you might realize that people are actually constantly becoming engaged and unengaged with your email marketing platform and with your brand in general, and that they need to be intelligently sampled to see if they're back in market. And when they are back in market, that's kind of when you can send as much content to them until they get to convert. If you want to fight fire with fire, to fight against the machine learning nerds at Gmail and Yahoo who are protecting their inboxes with machine learning, then come to us, and that's exactly what we solve.